Greetings, IndyCar enjoyers, and welcome to the Desert Double Weekend, everyone! Also, for the first time ever, David Malukas is on pole! Yep, first career pole, by the way. Awesome. And I'm glad that IndyCar returned to Phoenix, as it was a staple of the early Indy Racing League days. And I'm glad that IndyCar left Fernal. So yeah, no more Fernal. Clint Bowyer also got a chance to drive in the multi-seater IndyCar. But anyways, this year's return to Phoenix begins with Newgarden and Malukas battling for the lead. Malukas hangs on to the lead. Palou is seen moving for the field and got past Graham Rahal for fourth. Holy crapper, there's nothing that can slow him down. Power and Ericsson battle for position. And Allgaier spun out, which will cause the first yellow flag of the day. The race restarts with Malukas continuing to lead. Rahal manages to get past Palou, and Palou gets into the wall. Ah, crap. Looks like his day is done, and yeah, he didn't even see Rinus VK. Yeah, it pretty much sucks for Palou because, well, he's top in the points standings, and I'm hoping that he can have a comeback. Palou is now out of the race because of that incident with VK. But anyways, the race restarts with Malukas once again continuing to lead. Dixon gets past Rob for 13th. Power and Rosenquist are also seen battling each other for 16th. Rasmussen is currently running in 8th. So far, not much is going on aside from Rasmussen getting past Award. Rasmussen even gets past Scotty Mack for 5th. While Rasmussen keeps collecting positions, Malukas and a few other drivers come down to pit road. Malukas attempts to block Newgarden, but fails at doing so as Newgarden gets past him. Rasmussen is next to come down to pit road. Malukas and Newgarden get held up in lap traffic. Armstrong is currently leading as he has yet to make his pit stop. On lap 86, Armstrong makes his pit stop. Malukas holds off Rasmussen. Mick Schumacher has issues on pit road as one of the pit guns broke. Dang it! Dixon is seen making his pit stop. Rasmussen gets past Malukas, but Newgarden won't give up the lead to him as he tries his best to hold him off. His attempts to hold him off are unsuccessful as Rasmussen manages to get past him. Wait, what? Now this is surreal to see. He is now trying his best to hunt down the current race leader Palou Ward. Not even Palou Ward can hold Rasmussen off as he is now in the lead. Is there anything that can stop him? We even see Karzillich watch the race itself during the broadcast. Award and Rasmussen make their pit stops. Malukas and Scotty Mack also make their pit stops. Rasmussen gets past Award again and he puts Ferrucci a lap down. Foster hits the wall and blows a tire and the race gets yellow flagged. Several drivers come down to pit road during the yellow flag period. Anyways, the race restarts with Kirkwood and Power running 1-2. Dixon is the first to hold off Rasmussen, but ends up getting a puncture while doing so. Rasmussen finally gets past Dixon. Rasmussen is now in second as he has gotten past Power. Malukas comes down to pit road. Rasmussen and Kirkwood battle for the lead, and just like that, Rasmussen is now in the lead. Rasmussen comes down to pit road again, and Armstrong joins in alongside him. Allgaier is now in the lead until he too pits in. Power puts VK a lap down. Yeah, and be glad they got safe here because Rinus VK was the reason why Alex Palou crashed out. It was pretty bad. Contact ensues and Power's car is damaged. And the race gets yellow flagged for that incident. Rasmussen also hits the wall while Power tries to defend. Several drivers come down to pit road during the yellow flag period. The race restarts with Rasmussen continuing to lead. Award gets past Ferrucci for 6th. Newgarden gets past Ferrucci after attempting to block him. Award is now in 4th. Newgarden also gets past Armstrong. Kirkwood is coming closer and closer to Rasmussen. Newgarden also gets past Award. Kirkwood gets past Rasmussen even after he had to fight him for it. Here we go. The battle is on. It's Kirkwood versus Newgarden, just like that. Newgarden gets past Kirkwood. On the final lap, Newgarden is on his way to taking his first win of 2026, and just like that, Josef Newgarden wins the IndyCar Series return to Phoenix. Even if Palou didn't finish, the race still got a 9 out of 10. It was an amazing race and much better than Fernal. Yeah, I'm glad that Fernal's off the schedule. Hopefully, Palou will get a win at the Arlington Street Circuit. But anyways, it's time to sign off. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, you know what to do. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell just in case I haven't already done so. Catch you guys next time, and peace out. Greetings, NASCAR enjoyers, and after an eventful IndyCar race, it's time to head to the NASCAR O'Reilly Series with the GOVX 200. The 2026 GOVX 200 at Phoenix Raceway begins with Taylor Gray jumping to lead. Because this is Phoenix, not much will go on here. Yeah, Phoenix to me is one of the few ovals that is better suited for IndyCar than NASCAR, alongside Indianapolis and some others. Jesse Love is running in second. Contact ensues with Anthony Alfredo and Jeb Burton. Already? Allgaier is trying his best to get to the top 10, and he got past Corey Day. Here we go. Allgaier is into the top 10. Ah, crap, Jesse Love got to the lead. Yeah, when Jesse Love or Austin Hill's leading, it never goes well. But Taylor Gray is not going to give up the lead that easily. Nick Sanchez is having issues with his car, but no caution was thrown as he was able to make it to pit road safely. Byron has gotten past Gray for second. Even Sammy Smith has gotten past Taylor Gray. Sammy Smith managed to get past Byron for second. Lap traffic starts becoming a factor, and Sammy Smith is coming closer and closer to Jesse Love. Holy crapper! Sammy Smith just caught past Jesse Love for the lead! Yes! And the two trade blows, and just like that, Sammy Smith wins the first stage of the 2026 GOVX 200 at Phoenix Raceway. But anyways, pit road is now open and several drivers come down to pit road during the stage caution. Jesse Love wins the race off of pit road. Can someone please get past him? The second stage begins with Jesse Love jumping to the lead. Cruz gets past Sammy Smith for 7th. Quapple is now in 2nd. Cruz and Allgaier battle for 4th. For a brief moment, it was looking like Cruz might have beaten Allgaier, but Allgaier managed to get 4th back from the 17-year-old himself. After an uneventful second stage, Jesse Love takes the stage win. Whoop-de-freaking-do. But anyways, our next race off pit road begins, and Jesse Love wins the race off pit road again. The third and final stage begins with what else? Jesse Love jumping to the lead. It went free wide for a bit, but Jesse Love still hung on to the lead. Swalwich is currently running in 7th, and Daniel Dye had contact with Perkins. More contact ensues with Cruz and Swalwich battling for 8th. At this point, you might as well hand over the race win to Jesse Love, as no one can stop him. Like before, lap traffic starts becoming a factor, and the lapped cars are starting to slow down Jesse Love a bit. Hopefully this will give Quapple a chance to pass him. Holy crapper! Carson Quapple's catching up to him. Patrick Starpoli makes an unscheduled stop. Here we go. Carson Quapple is on the attack. Jesse and Quapple continue to go at it. And just like that, Quapple clears Jesse Love until he loses the lead. Quapple takes the lead again. Jesse gets held up by a lapped car. Yes! For the first time, someone finally got past the championship stealer. Junior Motorsports is not a team to mess with. Jesse Love is trying his best to defend second from Sheldon Creed. Creed managed to get past Jesse for second. Here we go. Our first set of green flag pit stops come underway. Several drivers come down to pit road. Quapple stayed ahead of Jesse Love. Sheldon Creed is staying out for a long time, so yeah, he's attempting a Verstappen strat. Despite staying out for as long as Max Verstappen, Quapple has still gotten ahead of Sheldon Creed. And the caution just came out as LeVar Scott spun out and blew a tire. The person who took it out was Anthony Alfredo. The race starts with Carson Quapple jumping into the lead until he loses the lead to Sam Mayer. And the caution just came out as a huge wreck just occurred. Brandon Jones and William Swalwich both got involved in it. William Byron comes down to pit road during the caution period. The race restarts with Sam Mayer hanging on to the lead. Quapple falls back and Jesse Love is now in second. Holy crapper! Allgaier's in third. Allgaier and Jesse battle for the lead. Yes! Justin Allgaier got past Jesse Love for the lead. Take that, championship stealer. Now that's what I'm talking about. Never steal a victory from Junior Motorsport. He nearly lost the lead to Jesse Love, and he did a great job at protecting it, even after not getting the power down on one of the corners. Here we go. It's a freeway battle for the lead. With 2 to go, it's now or never. The battle continues into the final lap. It was close, but Justin Allgaier managed to win while holding off Jesse Love, and he also did it on Andrew Overstreet's birthday. Yeah, the race was uneventful until the epic battle went underway in the end. Yeah, Carson Quapple didn't win, but was still amazing for Justin Allgaier and his crew chief as it was his birthday. The race gets a 9 out of 10, and it deserves that. But anyways, it's time to sign off. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, then you know what to do. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell just in case I haven't already done so. Catch you guys next time, and peace out. Greetings, NASCAR enjoyers, and here we are. We're at the main event itself. During the pre-race segment itself, we see Michael Waltrip and Jack Harvey join together to interview some drivers, as both IndyCar and NASCAR are both running races on the same weekend. Also, Patrick Warburton, the voice of Buzz Lightyear in Buzz Lightyear's Star Command, the animated series, would be the special guest to give off the command for the drivers to start their engines. But anyways, this year's StraightTalk Wireless 500 begins with Joey Logano jumping to the lead. Oh no, even worse is the fact that Zane Smith got a drive-through penalty for unapproved adjustments. Tyler Reddick has moved up to 5th. Wait, what? Larson tries his best to hold off Reddick, but isn't able to do so. Logano continues to lead. I'm waiting for anyone to get past him. Here we go. Blaney is right behind his teammate Logano. Both drivers get held up by lap traffic while they battle for the lead. Reddick and Cindric battle for third. Even though Reddick got past Cindric, he is having issues with his brake. Blaney and Logano continue to go at it. Cindric fell back to 6th. Blaney managed to get past his teammate Logano after getting caught up in lap traffic. Larson is also having issues with his car. SVG is on his tail. Bell and Logano battle for 2nd, and just like that, Ryan Blaney wins the first stage of the 2026 StraightTalk Wireless 500, even with Ty Dillon doing a Mazepin and holding off lead lap cars. Yeah, I always call it a Mazepin because, well, Nikita Mazepin was known to hold off lead lap cars even with the blue flag being thrown at him. Yeah, that's why I always call it the Mazepin strat. It's a strat that NASCAR drivers usually use to fight for the free pass position while staying on the lead lap. So yeah, the Mazepin strat is used in NASCAR and IndyCar, even with the blue flag being shown. But anyways, our first race off pit road begins, and Christopher Bell wins the race off pit road. During the broadcast, we also see Jamie McMurray and Chris Myers interview the 3 Penske IndyCar drivers. But anyways, the second stage begins with Christopher Bell jumping to the lead. Logano tries scooting past Bell, but isn't able to do so. SVG is running in 13th and right behind Bubba Wallace. Reddick and Logano battle for 3rd. His boss, Denny Hamlin, got past him for 4th. Kyle Busch got into the wall, and the caution just came out. SVG spun out and blew both tires. SVG and Scotty Mack also traded suits and signed them. Yeah, it was pretty cool that they did that, by the way. But anyway, several drivers come down to pit road, and Logano wins the race off pit road. This is not looking good. Could be worse, as Bubba Wallace got penalized for going too fast off of pit road. Dang. Not again. The race restarts with Logano and Bell battling for the lead. Suarez got into the wall, and another caution just came out. Ryan Prix and Josh Berry also got involved. Zillage is seen coming down the pit road. The race restarts with Bell and Logano continuing to lead. Reddick is in 3rd. Byron and Gibbs battle for 6th. Oh no. Hocevar is in 9th. Yeah, the driver that they keep comparing to Dale Sr. I'm sorry guys, but he's nothing like Dale Sr. Blaney fell back to 12th. Bell and Logano continue to go at it for the lead. Bell takes the lead. As long as Logano is not leading, I'll be a happy camper. Briscoe battles Reddick for 3rd. Briscoe got into the wall, and another caution just came out. Wait, that's a caution? Yeah, it's the same thing as that caution with Martin Truex Jr. hitting the wall hard. Yeah, like, same car number. Coincidence? I think not. Although, to be fair, it was a hard hit. Several drivers come down to pit road during the caution. Logano wins the race off pit road again. What a big surprise, am I right? His pit crew is just unfreaking stoppable. And Blaney had to stop in another driver's pit box to get one of his wheels tightened. And of course, he did accept the penalty, by the way, but you have to do what you have to do, right? He got penalized as he pitted in the wrong box. The race restarts with Bell and Logano continuing to battle for the lead. Hocevar gets past Reddick for 5th. Reddick got 5th back from Hocevar. Blaney is trying his best to move for the field. Gregson blows the tire and another caution just came out. Byron also broke one of his brakes and had to come down to pit road. Even McDowell has tire issues. What is even going on here? Like, come on. Tires keep blowing off left and right. Jeez. Anyway, several drivers come down to pit road and Denny Hamlin wins the race off pit road this time around. The race restarts with Brad Kay and Ryan Prix battling for the lead. Holy crapper! Denny Hamlin managed to get past both RFK drivers and got the lead! Both Prix and Brad Kay start falling back. Larson is in 9th. Bell and Hamlin battle for the lead. Bell managed to get past his teammate for the lead. Meanwhile, SVG and Byron battle for 20th. Logano and Buescher battle for 3rd, and just like that, Christopher Bell wins the second stage of the 2026 StraightTalk Wireless Tire Blowout 500 at Phoenix. But anyways, pit road is open and several drivers come down to pit road. Christopher Bell wins the race off pit road yet again. The third and final stage begins with Bell jumping to lead. Ah crap, Prix spun out and caused yet another caution. Several drivers made their pit stops during caution. Yep, you guessed it. Christopher Bell wins the race off pit road yet again. 3 drivers stayed out. The race restarts with a huge wreck, and guess who got involved in it? Yep, it's Chastain and Alfredo. Dang it! And guess what? Another caution flag had to be thrown. Yeah, Chastain is the one that hurts the most because he is a guy who I'm always rooting for, yeah. I don't care that as much about Alfredo, but Chastain being involved in that wreck, it really hurts. Especially for a guy who's owned as many Chastain diecasts as, well, you know. The race restarts again with Bell and Barry battling for the lead. Bell managed to get past him. Blaney and Bell battle for the lead, while Reddick and Logano battle for 7th. As the battle gets intense, SVG loses control, and another caution flag is thrown. Austin Dillon took out SVG. Yeah, of course he took out SVG because, yeah, it does look like that Austin Dillon is being possessed by the spirit or ghost of Dale Earnhardt Sr. because the number 3. Yeah, the number 3 is usually associated with Dale Sr. 9 cautions. 9 freaking cautions. Anyways. Several drivers come down to pit road and again Christopher Bell continues to win the race off pit road. The race restarts with Christopher Bell being pushed by Blaney to the lead. Gibbs is in 2nd. And another crash causes yet another caution. Thankfully, Logano was involved, but sadly, others had to be taken out as well. The one that hurts the most is Chase Elliott. Why did it have to be Chase? Why did it have to be Chase, man? Anyways, the race restarts again with Gibbs and Bell battling for the lead. Reddick is in 4th. Wait, what? Larson also appeared out of nowhere and is in 3rd. Hamlin is now in 7th and has to keep Byron at bay. Blaney and Reddick battle for 4th while they both go after Larson for 3rd. Blaney gets past Larson for 3rd. Even with 30 to go, Bell continues to lead. Blaney gets past Gibbs for 2nd. Austin Hill blows a tire and had to come down to pit road. No caution was thrown. Austin Dillon blows a tire, gets his wall, and causes yet another caution. Nearly the entire field comes down to pit road during the caution period, and this time, Gibbs wins the race off pit road. Bugger. Here we go. The race restarts with Gibbs and Blaney battle for the lead, and I also have to mention that Ty Gibbs also nearly ran over his own cousin who was working as a pit crew member. And their caution just came out. Zane Smith caused a huge pile-up. The race restarts again with Gibbs jumping to the lead. Blaney takes the lead. Gibbs fell back to 4th. On the final lap, it's now or never. The showdown continues. Bell got faster, but Blaney won for Team Penske. Another amazing race that is deserving of a 9 out of 10. Way too many cautions, but it's short track racing at its best, and the increased horsepower definitely did help here. It made the racing exciting. And keep in mind, 700 horsepower in a rear-wheel drive American V8 is already unusable. Imagine if it was 1,000 horsepower. There'd be chaos all over the field. Jeez. Blaney also did an excellent job at defending the lead from Gibbs. So yeah, it's good for Penske to win back-to-back in IndyCar and NASCAR. But anyways, it's time to sign off. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, then you know what to do. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell just in case I haven't already done so. Catch you guys next time, and peace out. Greetings, F3 enjoyers. I had to lump this race review in since I didn't have anywhere else to put it. I didn't want to create any overlaps, so it's lumped in with the Desert Double and the F1 race review. And no, F3 isn't faster than F1. It's a feeder series just like F2, and here's how it works. You see, the higher number in the FIA world means a slower series. 1 is usually the fastest, and the higher number means it goes down a speed. So yeah, for example, Formula 1 is the fastest. Formula 2 is the feeder series where drivers get a Formula 1 seat, hopefully. Formula 3 is faster than Formula 2, and it's the next step up for drivers planning to go into Formula 2, so yeah. That's how the FIA numbering system works. But anyways, the 2026 F3 sprint race at Melbourne begins with the usual formation lap to get to the grid and Del Pino jumping to lead. So far, not much is going on. The two Prima racers are running in 8th and 9th. DRS is now enabled on lap 2. Kolnagi gets taken out by another driver and gets into the gravel trap. Oh, come on. This isn't NASCAR. This is F2, man. I mean, F3. On the replay, we see the race getting 4 wide during the start of the race itself. Badger is under investigation by the stewards for potentially jumping the start. Stromstead is right on his tail. LaCourte and Neal battle for 11th, and the two Prima drivers also battle for 7th. And the race gets yellow flagged when both Prima drivers take themselves off. Dang it! Thankfully, both Prima drivers are okay, although Prima is not having any luck. First of all, they miss out on testing in IndyCar, and secondly, they have this disaster. Yeah, it's not looking good for Prima in 2026. The race would then extend to its red flag period. Can we please get back to the race already? To make matters worse, Wharton and Sharp also got noted by the stewards. Man, nothing gets by the stewards. Oh crap. The race will not be resumed, which means that Bruno Del Pino won the race by default. It was getting good until that happened, so yeah. The race, unsurprisingly, gets a 6 out of 10. The race took so long to clean up that race control decided, screw it, and decided to just end it like that. Hopefully the F1 main race will be better, but anyways, it's time to sign off. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, then you know what to do. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell just in case I already done so. Catch you guys next time, and peace out. Greetings, F1 enjoyers, and welcome to the first F1 race of the year 2026. And guess what? 2026 brings us new regulations. The new for 2026 regulations has its critics, as a lot was changed, especially with criticism around energy starvation. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of stuff about the 2026 regs being energy starved. Yeah, the cars themselves have energy starvation issues. During the pre-race segment, we get the Mini Moke Parade. The Mini Moke is a weird looking mini Jeep, but the Australians seem to love it. To be honest, it would have made more sense for the parade to be Ford Falcons and Holden Commodores as well. They are Australian cars. Yeah, it would have made more sense for Australian cars to be part of the parade instead of the Mini Mokes. Oh well, they seem to like it. And there's already disaster before the race would go underway. Oscar Piastri crashes out on the formation lap. That sucks. He's an Australian, it's his home Grand Prix, and seeing him crash out at the start of the race is like seeing Tony Stewart in the Brickyard 400 crash out before the race would even begin. It's painful, but do expect to see stuff like this as the 2026 regulations are still new. Sad that Piastri crashed out, though things could be worse, as Nico Hülkenberg had to go to the garage. Yep, things aren't looking good already, especially with the farce that is practice and qualifying. Here we go. The first race with the new regulations begins with the usual formation lap to get to the grid, and Colapinto gets noted for starting infringement. Yeah, the stewards. If they see that you're doing something bad, they will let you know. Nothing gets by the stewards. Dang it! The race starts for real with a chaotic battle for the lead. Holy crapper! Leclerc gets the lead. Keep in mind, these are new regulations and drivers can use the boost to get ahead. So yeah, gone is DRS. DRS gone, and in is the boost system, or manual override mode as it's actually supposed to be known. Yes! We get passing! Hamilton gets past Lindblad, and he's now running in third! Russell gets closer and closer to Leclerc, and Russell gets past Leclerc for the lead. Now this is what we all want to see with the 2026 regulations. Smaller cars that are able to pass. And yeah, while it's not like the glory days of Formula 1 with the screaming V10 engines that people will not shut up about for 5 minutes, it's still pretty exciting for modern F1 standards, especially when we had to endure massive cars that can't pass. Colapinto is still under investigation by the stewards. Leclerc gets the lead back. The battle is close. Max Verstappen has jumped up to 14th. Antonelli gets past Lindblad for 5th. Leclerc tries to defend. It's Mercedes versus Ferrari. Verstappen is now on 11th. Russell managed to get past Leclerc again, and he retakes the lead. Leclerc retakes the lead again. Russell attempts to take the lead again, only for him to have what appears to be engine issues, or it could be brake lockup. Although there was fire from the back, so it could have been engine issues and turbo lag. Verstappen is now in 9th. And the race gets yellow flagged as Allgaier has issues with his car. 3 drivers come down to pit road during the virtual safety car period. Isaac Allgaier is now out of the race. Yep, it pretty much sucks. He's a rookie in Red Bull, by the way. He's the guy who replaced Yuki Tsunoda, and I was hoping for him to be better than Tsunoda. Hopefully, it'll be better in China. The race restarts with the 2 Ferrari drivers running 1-2. Alonso had to stop as Honda is currently having issues with their engine. Antonelli gets past Lindblad for 4th. Bottas gets into the grass, and the race gets yellow flagged again. Yep, this is really sad. Valtteri Bottas has a good personality, and I was rooting for him to have a good day. And keep in mind, Cadillac is a new team, so I was rooting for them to do pretty well. The virtual safety car had to get deployed again. Bearman, Lindblad, and Bortoleto all make their pit stops during the virtual safety car period. The race restarts with Ferrari continuing their dominance, and Verstappen and Lindblad go at it for 6th. Verstappen managed to get past Lindblad. Perez gets put a lap down. Sergio Perez, aka Chico, gets noted by the stewards for forcing another driver off the track. Dang it! It's your first time back and you're already doing stuff like that, man. Cool it. Antonelli also has the fastest lap of the race. Leclerc comes down to pit road while Hamilton has yet to pit. Alonso is back in the race while Leclerc and Hamilton battle for the lead. Russell retakes the lead again. Hamilton makes his pit stop. Bearman and Lindblad battle for 7th. Verstappen is coming closer and closer to Norris. Another virtual safety car gets deployed for debris. A piece fell off of Chico's car. That's Sergio Perez, by the way. Again, issues with Perez in its return to Formula 1. Here we go. The battle between Norris and Verstappen begins. Norris comes down to pit road and gives up 5th to Verstappen. Sainz is having a slow pit stop. Alonso is out of the race again. The intense battle continues as we have a battle of the mid-runners. Lindblad and Bearman battle for 7th. Lindblad attempted to get past Bearman, only for Bearman to brake late. Bortoleto also gets past Gasly for 9th, and keep in mind, he's no longer racing for Sauber, as Sauber is now Audi, and that also applies to Nico Hülkenberg as well. Yeah, they kept the same drivers, but it's a different team now. Sauber is Audi, and Audi is in Formula 1. Yep, first time in many decades. Verstappen comes down to pit road. Gasly and Ocon battle for 10th. Verstappen now has the fastest lap of the race. Verstappen is on the attack and he's looking to get past Norris. even with his best efforts, Verstappen still hasn't been able to get past Norris. With 2 to go, Mercedes continued their 1-2 charge. Bortoleto is right behind Lindblad, and the 2 Ferrari drivers battle for third. On the final lap, the battle for third continues, and just like that, George Russell and Kimi Antonelli finished 1-2. It's also the first time that Mercedes finished 1-2 without Lewis Hamilton since the 1950s. So yeah, Lewis Hamilton wasn't involved because he's a Ferrari driver now. A massive W for both Mercedes guys. Gone are the days of the previous regulations with massive cars that can't pass, and in are the new 2026 regulations where anyone can win. And Verstappen went from being in the back to being in 6th, which is amazing. An easy 9 out of 10. I've never seen an amazing race from Formula 1 in a long time. There's passing all over the place, and it was super exciting, so yeah. The 2026 regs were a lot better than what I expected. Especially with all of the news surrounding energy starvation and other things. I look forward to seeing what happens in the Chinese Grand Prix. But anyways, it's time to sign off. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, then you know what to do. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell just in case I haven't already done so. Catch you guys next time, and peace out.